So I'm going to start with the latest federal developments since my last report on April 15th and beginning with international students. On Friday, April 25th, the federal administration announced that it would reinstate affected student records in the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, the SEVIS system. And all previously impacted UH international students, and as you will recall, there was less than 5, have now had those registrations restored. That action has been described by the federal government as temporary, with a new policy expected in the near future. So we will continue to monitor that and provide ongoing support. I'm also pleased to report that there have been no known immigration enforcement actions on our campuses or education centers. I know this is a major concern for many in our community, so I encourage those who are concerned to visit our federal policies update and resource website for detailed guidance about what to do if federal authorities come to campus. It's on hawaii.edu, and there is a link there at the top of the page. Filling you in on where we are in our latest research numbers, at last check, 76 federal grants were either eliminated, terminated, received stop work orders, or drawdowns impacted. 65 of those were fully terminated, reflecting a loss of grants worth about $78.2 million and impacting around 69 employees. We expect to have a fuller picture by August. And the proposed federal budget that's come out since we last met, if passed, will include very deep cuts likely to agencies that have long supported our research. We'll have a presentation on this later today, so I'll just note a few particularly significant changes for your attention. The Trump administration's proposed budget would cut the National Science Foundation by 55%, reducing its budget by $4 billion for the next fiscal year beginning in October. It also proposes a 40% reduction to the National Institutes of Health budget, and there are media reports that NSF's 37 divisions spread across 8 directorates are set to be abolished with the elimination of a significant number of programs. As I believe you know, the NSF recently joined the NIH and Department of Energy in proposing a 15% cap on indirect costs. We've talked about that before. Most university contracts are around 50% of this award, making this reduction a significant financial threat. The final cap is under discussion, but this trend is obviously concerning to us, and we are working to negotiate changes. These agencies have also announced other policy shifts. On April 18th, the NSF updated its funding priorities, emphasizing projects that align with its mission, leading to the termination of over 400 grants, including those related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and what they are noting as misinformation research. On April 21st, the NIH introduced a new civil rights term and condition for all grants, requiring recipients to certify they do not operate programs that promote DEIA or engage in discriminatory prohibited boycotts, such as those against Israeli companies. Together, these cuts and policy changes represent, as I've said before, quite a significant threat to federal funded research, and it is obviously of concern, and we're monitoring it closely. As Congress reviews these proposals, we'll keep you posted on that. In terms of executive orders and federal action, the Trump administration has issued a number of new executive orders since our last meeting. To just briefly touch on a few, the Reforming Accreditation to Strengthen Higher Education EO directs the Secretary of Education to hold accreditors accountable for poor performance, mandates intellectual diversity among faculty, and requires institutions to focus on program-level student outcomes without considering race, ethnicity, or sex. The stated goal of the EO is to encourage competition through recognition of new accreditors. The concern that has been identified in higher education as this may be the politicization of accreditation, and it may be an issue of institutional autonomy. So stay tuned for that. Of course, we will continue monitoring it. Another EO is transparency regarding foreign influence at universities, which seeks to increase oversight of foreign funding and partnerships in U.S. higher education, preventing undue influence. There are some concerns that this will discourage international partnerships and collaboration and increase measures like audits and funding withdrawals. So we will keep you posted on that as well. On the more positive side, there are 2 executive orders that may offer opportunity that align with some of our initiatives. Preparing Americans for high-paying skilled trade jobs of the future has a stated aim to modernize federal workforce development by streamlining programs, expanding registered apprenticeships, and aligning training with the demands of emerging industries like artificial intelligence and advanced manufacturing. Likewise, advancing artificial intelligence education for American youth establishes a nationwide strategy to integrate AI education into K through 12 and workforce development programs, and we will work with our DOE partners to identify how we can partner effectively. As in the past, we continue to respond to all of these challenges with a commitment to transparency and collaboration. And I want to thank this board for joining me, along with 200 other universities, boards, and leaders, in signing a national letter by the Association of Governing Boards of Universities and College, urging protection of institutional governance from political interference. On April 21st, I also joined more than 190 university college leaders, which has now grown to more than 500, in signing a statement by the American Association of Colleges and Universities opposing unprecedented governmental overreach and political interference. These statements reaffirm our shared commitment to academic freedom and the free exchange of ideas without fear of retribution, calling for constructive engagement with policymakers. I also held another forum on April 21st. We had about 120 folks in person, and more than 1,000 participated and joined online. This is part of our ongoing effort to keep our community informed with multiple lines of communication and keep transparency. It was also, I should note, at the suggestion of our UH Presidential Advisory Council on Federal Policy, and I appreciate their engagement. We will continue to work closely with our congressional delegation, Governor Green, the legislature, the state attorney general, and our National Association of Higher Education consortiums. We are actively coordinating in a continuing way with the AG's office on several federal lawsuits, and we will keep you posted as those evolve. Through it all, always important to say again, our values remain unchanged. We remain steadfast in our commitment to accessible education, academic freedom, and the pursuit of knowledge in service to Hawaii and the world. So a quick update as well on the UH Manoa Athletics Director search. It is progressing well. There is a robust pool of applicants, and I can confirm that there's been a strong response from the community reflecting the appeal of this position, which is great. We are still on track to complete this hire in the summer, although again, our priority will always be finding the right person. So if it takes a little bit longer, we will take that time. Also wanted to inform you that in addition to the selection committee, the committee that's already been announced, we have formed a small internal advisory committee to give some internal feedback for the finalists, including student athletes, coaching staff, and faculty. This committee will also have an opportunity to meet with our finalists and give us feedback before that final decision is made. We appreciate the comments in the last Board of Regents meeting from Regent Abercrombie and others about the importance of establishing a competitive compensation level to attract the right candidate. We are continuing to work to identify what that looks like, but want to give you an initial impression that we are looking to a salary range somewhere in the range of $375,000 to $500,000 as a starting salary, some relocation expenses if the individual is out of state, and a potential for a bonus and retention structure. So stay tuned for that. We look forward to bringing that to the board in subsequent meetings. Finally, for those of us in higher education, this is the most wonderful time of the year because of our commencement season and seeing our graduates walk across the stage. And I will say that while I have now, I'm certain, participated in more than 100 different commencements over the years, this year is really special, both because it's my first as UH president and also because of all of the different challenges that we're facing at this moment. So stay tuned. We look forward to welcoming the board to those that we're about to have. That's why I'm here today in Maui. With Regent Akitake, and look forward to seeing you in the days ahead at Manoa, Kapiolani, and across our system. I also want to just briefly note that we have some incredible stories about our graduates that are inspiring, and I encourage you to look at them. As of today, there are 18 stories posted on our website about why what we do matters and the impact of higher education. And finally, well, not finally, but want to congratulate our outstanding UH athletic teams that have concluded their season. The UH men's volleyball and women's water polo teams both reached the NCAA semifinals. The UH Wahine softball team made a strong run in the Big West tournament. And a special mahalo to Coach Bob Coolin, who is stepping down after 30 years as head coach, leaving a lasting legacy on our program. UH baseball is continuing to make a push for the postseason. UH Hilo men's golf team recently won its conference championship and is now shooting for a national title. And speaking of UH Hilo, congratulations on the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, extending the school's accreditation, which is a significant accomplishment. In closing, congratulations to all of our graduates and our student athletes. This moment captures the essence of what we care about in the university: excellence, perseverance, and the pursuit of knowledge. I'm now pleased to turn it over to Chancellor Sanchez and the Kauaʻi Community College report.